Yes!
What's up, and welcome back to Congruent Academy, the place for people in process. If you're new here, I'm Cal, and I'm getting my act together one video at a time. Today I'm going to be talking about some of the ways that I have gradually been breaking through my social anxiety. Before getting into the tips of this video, I just want to remind everyone watching that I'm a work in progress just like you. Neither this nor any of my videos should ever be substituted for professional medical advice, resources to which I have linked in the description. I'm simply reflecting on some of the ideas and tips that I'm implementing in my own life as a means of sharing my journey of getting my act together one video at a time. Now, let's get into it. Number 1, listen and respond. Getting too in your head is one of the main symptoms of social anxiety, and it's understandable. It isn't the best feeling to be judged, especially if you feel like you don't know what to say or where to look, and then you just end up feeling more awkward because you start to get self-conscious. Yeah, I'm getting anxious just thinking about that. Going through those motions, I have felt so distracted by my own social anxiety that I realized I'm not even responding appropriately to the person I'm talking to. One of the best ways to deal with that is to put your attention on the other person. I'm not saying to not have your own things to contribute into a conversation. After all, it's great to feel connected and engaged, but when you really listen to what the person you're talking to is saying, instead of worrying about what you're going to say or what they think of you, you're going to find you're going to have a better and more calibrated conversation. So give it a try. Number 2. Keep interactions brief and positive. Now, if you have really bad social anxiety, the idea of holding a conversation for longer than 10 seconds may feel impossible to you right now. I know what that feels like. I've been there. So remember that this is a process and to be patient with yourself. Something that helped me to start to work through this was building from where I was, which again, is really all anyone can ever do. I found that by having brief and positive interactions with people while going about my day, eventually I was able to feel more comfortable in social situations. And again, I started very small. Some things you could try would be asking a person checking out your groceries how their day is going, and then saying thank you once they've rung you up, or asking someone in the street for directions. Whatever it is, you don't have to extend that conversation at the stage. Just keep it brief and upbeat. At that stage, it's more important to reinforce the idea that you're capable of speaking to people. I find that starting with these smaller and more controlled interactions is a great way to get that momentum going. Tip number 3, good eye contact and a nice smile. Eye contact and smiling are so critical for body language and communicating to someone else that you are engaged and attentive to what they are saying. Too much or too little of this is a thing. You don't just want to stare at people, nor do you want to look at the ground or in the sky. I think it's good though to hold eye contact for a few seconds and then break eye contact when you're in a conversation, because it's a great way to make sure that you're being engaging without being overbearing. Eye contact with a smile though really completes the picture. It sends out the signals that you're welcoming and pleased to be talking to the person that you're talking to. But again, over all of this, I want you to be authentic, be genuine, don't just be faking this. When you're getting back out there talking to people, it might feel awkward. But in time, as you build with other tips, you're going to start finding that you're going to be a better you. After all, it's human nature to connect. Number 4, good self-talk. This tip was one of the most important for me on this list because mindset is everything when it comes to how you see the world and how you see yourself. For those of us who have been particularly lonely at some point in our lives, it can be easy to be habituated into thinking that you possibly deserve to be alone forever. But that's not true, friends. We might be people in process, but that doesn't mean we aren't worthy of connection. There's a quote that goes something to the effect of, "He who thinks he can and he who thinks he cannot are both right." And that's so true. The power of how we think and what we think about ourselves determines so much about the quality of our life. Most of us aren't even necessarily aware of what our self-talk is. That's how it was for me when I first started this channel. And so if you want to get more tuned into what your self-talk is, there's an exercise I can recommend for some honest self-reflection. It's a simple and powerful tool. Here's what you do. Get a pen and some paper and take some time to write down some adjectives that you would use to describe yourself right now. If you need help doing that, think about how you are or how you feel in certain situations. They could be ones you find yourself in every day, like your job, or with your family and friends. With this list in hand, you'll now start to be forming a sense of how you see yourself. For me, many of these adjectives at the start left me feeling insecure, and so if that's you, just know that's a normal response. And after that, take some time to write down and emphasize some of your great qualities, some of the ones that help you feel empowered, brave, and confident, and repeat these to you as often as you can. Like everything, our sense of self is forged by repetition. I have to do this at least once a day, as it's better to prime myself before going into a social situation. So give that a try, and be patient with yourself when you feel discouraged. Stick it out, and you'll find yourself more empowered in social situations. Number 5, relax your mind and body. When I feel socially anxious, I feel physically tense. It's like part of me wants to run out of the room, part of me feels frozen, and part of me wants to connect so badly that I'm being pulled in a million directions all at once. Take a breath and take your time. When you're stressed, you aren't going to be at your best socially. Again, this isn't likely going to be news to anyone who has social anxiety. It might be useful to write down exactly what you're anxious about, so at least those things aren't just living in your head. As wiser people than me have said, you are not your thoughts, you are the observer of your thoughts. In sum, developing social confidence has been a process, and it's one that I'm currently on. I'm grateful that I no longer have the degree of social anxiety that I did, and that's due in large part to these 5 tips. I surely have a long way to go, but that's part of the fun now. Is there a tip that isn't on this list that's making you a better version of you? If so, I would love to hear what it is if you're open to sharing it in the comments section below. We're all on our individual paths in life, and so if something from this video doesn't work for you, that's totally fine. I'm just sharing some ideas that have been helpful and meaningful to me, with the hopes that someone out there will resonate with them. So if you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, power to the people in process.